Do you hear him?
Guys, we're running out of time.
Oh, no, man, you broke their clock.
I'm zombie but awake 밤비가 내려wake Can't wait, no time is a game so I just put it all my way I'm zombie but awake 밤비가 내려wake Can't
What is good, my crazies? Y'all, welcome back to the lab. Lee here in the studio. Y'all saw that title too as well, man. We got 6 more Mandela Effects for you. Yes, 6 new Mandela Effects for you to boggle that mind on this wonderful Mandela Monday for you. But before we get this going, remember some of these Mandela Effects might not be new to you, but they are new to somebody else out there. As well as y'all hit that thumbs up, subscribe, and leave me your comments down below of these Mandela Effects and the ones that you see too as well. And if we like them, if you like them, if I see them, you know I'm going to put you out there for it. Now, other than ado, let's get into this. 6 new more Mandela Effects for you. Let's go with number 6 on the list. We're going to go with the movie's Gremlin. And one of the gremlins that I always remember is, as I show you up on this screen, no, it's not Gizmo. His name is Spike. Well, what if I told myself and everybody else who just said Spike is totally wrong? Apparently, Spike has never been Spike. That gremlin has never been named Spike in the entire existence of the gremlins. He has always been named Striped. Yes, you heard me, Stripe. This is ironic to me, weird to me, because Gremlins is one of those iconic Christmas movies. As a kid, we all wanted a gremlin, and when the Furbies came out, that was kind of like our little gremlin to itself. But I always remember this gremlin himself being Spike. Spike was the leader of the gang, of the group, of the whole mean gremlins itself. But what do you remember? Do y'all remember the original as being Spike, or do you remember it as it is now being Stripe? Now, number 5 on the list, we are going to Scooby-Doo. We're going back to Shaggy, and already know, y'all know that Shaggy's missing his Adam's apple already. That's one of the Mandela Effects. But this Mandela Effect has to do with him being a vegetarian. Yes, 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 as you see right here, Shaggy himself has always been a vegetarian. The reason why he was a vegetarian, always has been a vegetarian, because Kasem, who does the voice for Shaggy, was a vegetarian himself, and he wanted him to portray the same betrayal that Casey Kasem and Shaggy had both in common. Well, there's a little bit of evidence to me, to the world, that Shaggy wasn't always a vegetarian. You can look it up. It says he eats veggie burgers and stuff like that. But I find scenes of where he is eating ham sandwiches, and he asked for a ham sandwich and eating ham. Well, look.
I wish I had a ham sandwich to calm my nerves. Well, what do you know? A ham sandwich.
Zoinks! I don't know if you can get a vegetarian ham sandwich, Scooby. Not that's you see it right there. Do you always remember Shaggy being a vegetarian? Or do you always remember them sandwiches having a whole bunch of meat on it? Like I remember as a kid, he was and it'd be but what do you remember? Him being a vegetarian, him eating sandwiches? Let me know. Now, number 4 on this list, we are going to Grand Central Station. Yes, Grand Central Station is this Mandela Effect. It is me saying it completely wrong. It has never, ever, ever, ever been Grand Central Station. If you look it up, if you type it in, it has always has been Grand Central Terminal. Yes, you heard me right. Grand Central Terminal. Yes, has always been there. It's been the midway of all subway stations there to come through, to go in and out. But in my reality and a lot of other people's realities, it has always been Grand Central Station. I'm not the only one that believes it too, because, well, there's a lot of animated shows that love to show it. And one of my favorite movies is the one with Chris Rock being the zebra. Well, here you go.
Grand Central Station. It's grand and it's central. Grand Central Station. It's grand and it's central.
Now, how can my man from Madagascar get that totally wrong? He said Grand Central Station just like I remember it. Ooh, Grand Central Station. But what do you remember? Do you remember Grand Central Station, or do you remember how it's been in this reality alternate universe as Grand Central Terminal. Now, number 3 on this list at the halfway mark, we are going to be talking about the Wizard of Oz and Dorothy, and when she gets into the land of Oz and that saying she says, "I don't think we're in Kansas anymore." Well, listen to this.
Toto, I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore? What the hell did she just say?
I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore.
Now, I must have went to sleep, woke up on a different planet in my life. I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore? That is totally wrong. That is not how I remember that at all. I don't know what you think about this neither. I always remember it, Toto. I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. This is wild to me. It's changed. Another Wizard of Oz Mandela Effect blowing my mind, because that is a childhood. I've watched that so many times. I've even watched that on acid, and it is just one of those, that whole movie is just iconic. And you're telling me that she has a feeling she's not in Kansas anymore? I wonder what gave her that. What do you remember? Do you remember like it is now? I have a feeling we're not in Kansas anymore, or do you remember it like I remember? I don't think we're in Kansas anymore. Number 2 on this list, we are going to a great, wonderful marshmallow treat. And we all know the brand of the marshmallow treat. We're going to call it the Stay Puft. Yes, the Stay Puft Marshmallow. We can talk about the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man in Ghostbusters. We can talk about the marshmallows that you roast for your s'mores over the campfire. But what if I told you that we have been saying it wrong, we've been spelling it wrong, and well, look at this. In this reality that we live in, it has never been Stay Puft, P-U-F-F. It has been Puffed, P-U-F-T. It is so weird. I've never remember it being that way. It has always been Puff, P-U-F-F. It is blowing my mind. I'm a Ghostbusters fan. I'm a marshmallow person. I love my s'mores. I love my Ghostbusters. It has always been the Stay Puft Marshmallow Man, not Stay Puft Marshmallow, Stay Puft, however you pronounce it. It doesn't even come out right. What do you remember about this? Because I've looked it up. I've looked this through up. There is no remnants of this being P-U-F-F. It destroys me. But what do you remember? Do you remember Stay Puft, P-U-F-F? Or do you remember the way it is now, P-U-F-T? Let me know that down below. Now, number 1 on the list is a great one, oldie and goodie, kind of a newie but dewy one for you too as well. We're talking about the extraterrestrial Mr. E.T. himself, yes, and 2 of them to be precise. The first one has to do with that iconic line when he's telling Elliot and his sister that he wants to phone home, just the way I just said it, E.T. phone home. Well, what if I told you that I and everybody else in this world has had it wrong?
E.T. home phone. E.T. home phone.
Yes, you heard it right there. E.T. does say home phone, not phone home. But he does also, and to bring more of it, and I see it, he does say phone home. But the original part of that, when he first points to the sky and he says E.T. phone home, that's how I remember it. I don't remember him doing the E.T. home phone. It's so weird. Why would you do it home phone or phone home? It's like maybe we ever had a home phone back then, but that makes no sense. Then with this other Mandela effect with E.T. is the part where he's leaving and he's saying goodbye to Elliot. And well, look at this.
I'll be right here.
many remember that scene being like that where he says, I will always be here, points right to the head. If that is how you remember this, then I can tell you, well, that's how it's always been. Well, in my reality and a lot of people's reality, when E.T. does that, E.T. points to his heart. Because as you know, his heart was glowing at the time, and E.T. points to Elliot's heart. He says, I will always be right here. Right on his heart. And it's so weird that he points at the head because yeah, he'd be in his mind, but it was such a loving story, and he fell in love with an extraterrestrial. They bonded, that were part of each other. He pointed at the heart because he'll always be here. And if you don't believe me on that, well, here's a little not preview, but a commercial from the 20th anniversary of E.T. Well, watch this.
I'll be right here. I'll be right here.
As you see in that commercial, the older Elliot from the original movie, basically his children, see it and they get E.T. and they basically go there. And as you see at that scene, because they do that same scene right there, E.T. goes, I will always be right here. Points at his heart. Now, why do that commercial and Elliot from the original movie and them doing that, the directors going to the heart instead of to the head, how the original is now? But I remember the heart. That's how I remember it. Apparently he remembers it that way too. The directors remember it that way too. So what do you think about that? Do you remember E.T. always pointing to the heart? Or do you remember it always what it is now, him pointing to the head? And do you remember the phone home or home phone? There you go, 6 more Mandela Effects with a little bit of extras there for you too as well. I hope you enjoyed, and if you did, man, please hit that thumbs up. Every bit counts. Remember to subscribe and leave those comments so we can do some more wonderful Mandela Effects to blow people's mind. With that said, thank you again for showing up, man. Thank you for the love and support, and as well, man, y'all keep your mind open because those eyes definitely see everything in front of you.
Hang up this phone, and then I'm going to show these people what you don't want them to see. I'm going to show them a world without you. A world without rules and controls, without borders or boundaries. A world where anything is possible. Where we go from there is a choice I leave to you.